रक्तदेव ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट तो बहुत बड़ा विलन है। हाँ, लेकिन पता नहीं क्यों मुझे लगता है शायद आप लोगों को उससे मोहब्बत हो जाएगी। Because when Shahrukh became Don, also there was a huge ruckus about the fact कि बच्चन साहब ने किया है, अब शाहरुख थोड़ी डॉन कर पाएंगे और वो सब बातें हुई थी। Then it's now Don 1 and Don 2 both are cult, you know.
Hello, Namaskar, and welcome to Bollywood Live. How are you, sir?
Namaskar, I'm fine, Gorika. Thank you so much, and I hope everybody watching it is also absolutely fine, hale and hearty.
Yeah, so firstly, I wanted to know about the series, the animation series Bahubali ki. How is it like, and how did the makers approach you for it?
Well, you will have to ask them how did they approach me, but all I know is that they did approach me, and I jumped at the opportunity because, like, of course, I mean, it's a Rajamouli sir's production, you know, and it's Bahubali, so no reason to like even think this. It's a no-brainer, not even to think about it, and just go ahead and say yes to it, and then to realize that you're getting a to do a character called something like Raktadev, you know,
Hmm.
which is the most formidable character in the entire series, if I may say so. You know,
Yeah.
a worthy antagonist in front of the two joint combined forces of Bahubali and Bhalladev, you know, Bhalladev.
Hmm.
And so it was an opportunity which I don't think any person in his sane mind would refuse.
And how was the experience of working on it?
Wonderful, wonderful. So there was a process like we were trying to work out since it's a new character. It's not there in the
Hmm.
Bahubali verse, and it was an introduction of the character. So we were trying to work out. There were guidelines, that there were things, and that the writers had in their mind and the creators had in their mind that how the character is
Hmm.
going to be. And we worked on those lines, and we did some trial and error, and then eventually zeroed down on what the kind of modulation he would have, the kind of an attitude in his voice he would have, how basically the character would move.
So, any of the lines, if you remember, any short, I would love to hear in your voice because it's amazing, and actually read those comments.
The line which might not be very popular actually with the audience because uh, they love Bahubali, they love Maheshmati, the empire, and
Hmm.
Raktadev is there to mita do Maheshmati ko.
Wow.
So he's there to destroy Maheshmati. But that is the
Yes.
fun, that is the conflict, and that is the drama. I think that is what audiences are looking forward to कि भाई ये सिर्फ जो रक्तदेव है वो सिर्फ महिष्मति को कॉन्कर नहीं करना चाहता है, वो अपने किंगडम में ऐड नहीं करना चाहता है, बल्कि मिटा देना चाहता है, नेस्तो नाबूद कर देना चाहता है, खत्म कर देना चाहता है. So anybody, the wars normally happen because you want to win a kingdom.
Hmm.
Wars don't happen to destroy a kingdom.
True that.
So
Well said.
that is a twist.
So recently, we've seen you in Murder in Mahim, and you worked with Ashutosh Rana and Vijay Sir also. So how was the experience of shooting with them? You all are like legendary actors all together.
So it was great fun. Incidentally, like I mean, Ashutosh Rana. I mean, the trivia is that like he did happen to mention that he did his first ever shot in Mumbai with me,
Yeah.
which I did not. Then I eventually did recollect. You know, like I mean, and that was and today he's such a fine actor and such a much in demand actor. And we were looking for the opportunity to work together for a long time, and it did come in Modern Mahim, and I'm happy that it did because the character, I don't know whether you've seen the show or not, but the character which I did in was a first ever for me because I've never played a gay character, and that was departure from the usual characters I do. And I'm happy that it had happened with Ashutosh Rana and Vijay Raz. You know, like I mean, when you have fine actors in front of you, it definitely helps you as a performer as well. It's a give and take. It's an action and a
Hmm.
reaction, and if you are getting the right reactions, and
Hmm.
it actually elevates the scene. So it was a wonderful experience, and the icing on the cake is that like the reviews I'm getting. You
Yeah.
know, like yeah, the reviews I'm getting is like an icing on the cake. It's a kind of an what do you call validation of the fact that like when you try something new, then you go with a lot of apprehension, you know, like, but also excitement as well, because as an actor, you're always looking for something which is which is different from what you've done out of the box,
Very true.
and
And it's a surprise for the fans also.
is a surprise for the fans
Big
as well.
surprise.
Yes, and they've taken it so well. I'm so happy.
And I don't know if you've noticed or not. So recently, I've posted one of, I mean, two, three pictures of your new look, and people are commenting that you look like Iron Man and you
Oh
resemble
yeah,
a lot.
because of the beard which I've
Yeah.
just like the new
So,
look.
how was
Yes,
your reaction to all of these comments?
well, they've been saying it for a very long time.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, like I mean, they kind of find a similarity in the personality of Robert Downey Jr. and mine, and I think maybe it comes from the fact that I voice him, and then they want to see it like that, so they are seeing it like that. But
Yeah.
yes, you know, in on hindsight, I feel that I mean, I voiced him for almost 11 years, right?
Hmm.
And the kind of a character Tony Stark is, and the kind of a person Robert Downey Jr. is, there is some kind of a similarity, the way we are, and so I think the audiences have caught on to it, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
and they're reacting to that.
Yeah.
I really
So,
cannot
Fab,
help it, you know. Like I mean, it's
it's
their
actually
perception.
good.
Yeah.
So Father's Day आने वाला है, it's next month only. So
जी जी.
अगर हम बात करें fatherhood के बारे में, so Ishan discusses before going ahead with any project, and how is the father-son rishta with Ishan and Yuvan?
Well, the father-son rishta between Ishan and Yuvan is like any father-son.
Yeah.
And the only thing is that Ishan is a grown-up and Yuvan is like just a kid right now. But the fact of the matter is that like whether they are 27, 28, or whether they are 5, the parents have to deal with the same kind of patience and the same kind of, yeah, patience is the right word, because you know, like I mean, you
Mm.
cannot, I mean, it's about to hear the kids out, you know, and have a very not a kind of a fatherly approach but a friendly approach, which I
Friendly.
think a lot of people are reacting to, that you can't be friends with your kids. But I think uh, I am even friends with a 5-year-old son of mine, you know, and I think it works. It does work, because if you are trying to tell anybody today what to do, what not to do, I
Mm.
think that is where their ears shut.
Yeah.
They stop
Actually,
listening to
they have to
you
do
know.
khud ka hi, whatever they have
Yeah, yeah.
planned.
And
So
coming back to Ishan, like if you say that, like, I mean, whether we discuss the work and all that, yes, of course. I mean, we don't discuss whether what we are picking up and what we are choosing to
mm,
do. Yeah, but then work is discussed, of course. It's a very natural thing that you do when you catch up, you do discuss. But it's not that we only discuss that, but
yeah.
it comes in the conversation. Yeah.
So there's a feedback also. I mean, he watches you and maybe,
Of course,
he
there
gives
is.
you like this. Yeah.
Of course, there is a feedback. Of course, there's a feedback even in personal life as well. So when the work comes out, then there's a feedback. When the work is happening, that is the time we don't discuss much, because the idea is not to have a preconceived notion about what is to come.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes.
once it's out, then it's there for appraisal. You know, like good, bad, ugly, whatever. Like I mean, we can talk to each other about it.
सो अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं मूवीज के बारे में, सो डॉन टू इम्प्रेसिव परफॉर्मेंस, लवली एक्टिंग एंड एवरीथिंग. आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस विद माय फादर, एंड माय फादर कॉल्ड मी अप दैट बिफोर द इंटरव्यू ही वाज सेइंग कि डू आस्क अबाउट डॉन, ओके, ही डिड एन अमेजिंग जॉब इन दैट. सो अगर डॉन 3 की बात आ रही है, सो व्हाट्स द इनसाइड स्कूप, बिकॉज वी नो दैट दिस टाइम इट्स रणवीर सिंह. सो SRK की जगह there's Ranveer.
Because when Shahrukh became Don, also there was a huge like ruckus about the fact कि बच्चन साहब ने किया है, अब शाहरुख थोड़ी Don कर पाएंगे, और वो सब बातें हुई थी. Then it's now Don 1 and Don 2 both are cult. You know, now when Ranveer steps into it and say, okay, how can he match Shahrukh? See, so you need to understand the franchisee is going ahead. And my take on this is very simple. Like, I mean, if the last was probably made in 2012, I guess, you know, 11,
Hmm.
and we're talking
Yeah.
in 2024, and this is not going to come before 26.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about 15 years, 1.5 decade difference.
A
the
long.
the making is different, the audiences are different. You understand, like the audiences who are going to be watching Dawn 3 are going to be very different. So I am sure the movie is also going to be very different, you know. So
Yeah.
us, you and me, and we talking about that we come from Shah Rukh Khan's Dawn and coming to Ranveer Singh, but there's a huge generation who will be seeing Dawn, Ranveer Singh as Dawn. right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, no point in preempting. I am sure the makers are going to make a hell of a product, and it's
Hmm.
Farhan Akhtar, and I worked with him twice, so I do know like how he thinks and what I think he's going to give us all to it. But on my own part, I do manifest and I just send it to Farhan. Also, I say, okay, somehow Singhania comes back into Dawn 3 because Singhania's gone, but then Singhania's father, Singhania's brother, Singhania's son, Singhania's booth. Somebody should
Yeah.
come in Dawn 3.
Absolutely. Should come. So,
Yeah.
बात करें small roles की, cameos की. So, people say that they do leave a big impact. In Animal, we have seen Bobby Deol, and in a lot of movies and series, we have seen
A
that
similar
छोटे
thing
छोटे
happened
roles
with
में भी
me
they.
also. Similar thing happened with me
Yeah,
also in Dawn, because it was a screen time was very less, but the
exactly.
impact was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, they're great, and of course, there's an added excitement when the stars are doing it,
Hmm.
the cameos and all that. So there's an added excitement for the audience, and I have done a few in my career as well, but honestly, I'm done with them. No more.
No more
So
cameos.
yeah, so the cameos are a big no for me now, unless it's something exceptional, you know, and it's coming from a maker that I've been waiting and dying to work with. So
Uh,
I mean, yeah. So probably there. Otherwise, I at this stage, I don't think I want to go for it anymore. I think
So
I've
you,
done my bit, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
what
yeah.
happens, and I
Absolutely.
tell you what, I have no issues about doing cameos, but for the perception of the industry. You see, what is a bridge between the audience and the artist? The audience and the artist, the bridge between them is the other makers.
Hmm.
So the first person who approaches you are the makers. So if the makers have that notion that we want you to do a cameo, and because one was successful, the other was successful, you understand?
Yeah.
So then, like, I mean, you work well in that. I mean, suddenly I had an influx of things that, like, I mean, there's an authority, there is a villain in the film, like, I mean, and in the uh, penultimate reel, his boss comes, the villain's boss comes, then he lands from a chopper, and then
Hmm.
I mean, the shot starts on his shoes, and there's a wind blowing, and then he enters and all that, and I'm like, yeah, great, lovely, then you realize how silly it is. Like, it worked for them with the
Hmm.
persona they wanted to use. It didn't work for me, you know.
Yeah, very well said.
So yeah, so it didn't work for me. So, like, no, sorry. So let it be. Now let's talk about the screen time. Forget about that. That the huge impact in minimum scenes. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't fall for that story anymore. I say, okay, fine. Let it not be that formidable a character. Give him a screen time, and I will make him formidable.
One message before going you want to give to your fans? Any of the message?
Keep watching my work and keep letting me know and keep sending your love to me, which you give to me in abundance. I know that. Thank you so much for it. I'm ever obliged. Watch Crown of Blood और रक्तदेव के बारे में मुझे जरूर बताइएगा कि आपको कैसा लगा। देखिए, मैं एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ आपको। रक्तदेव ऑन द फेस ऑफ इट तो बहुत बड़ा विलन है, हाँ, लेकिन पता नहीं क्यों मुझे लगता है शायद आप लोगों को उससे मोहब्बत हो जाएगी। मुझे बताइएगा कि
Oh.
मैं सही था या गलत